Hey you guys, thanks for coming back. Haircutting A to Z. Today we're going to be doing haircut F and I believe haircut I. I'll have to check, see which one that is. We have them all in alphabetical order. You're going to be learning a whole lot about haircutting, a whole lot of the factors as to the whys. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the whys on some stuff. On this mannequin, the first cut, this was our V mannequin. We reviewed a little bit of I know you can't see it, about creating a straight line, and I had to kind of almost stand on my head for you to see it. Let me pull it up for you. Forgive my head. Anyways, you almost had to, for you to be able to see that it's cut straight. I showed you how to hold your shears and to hold it in the secondary position, so it should make sense for you anyways that I was holding it in that order. But anyways, what I wanted to show you today, I wanted to cover some stuff. This mannequin was cut side to side. One of the factors about cutting side to side, I want to show you something. Remember I told you that the side to side was from parietal line to parietal line, parietal line, parietal line. You go back to the vertex, cutting it side to side. Then what did we do? We took it then and cut it vertically, all right? In cutting it vertically, what happens on the sides where it falls down, do you see the movement? Because all these little sticks. But look at the power of numbers. Because of the power of numbers, her hair really does stay back pretty good. But it was cut. Think about it. This is where the geometry comes in. It was cut horizontally to the face. This is the top of the head. The sides were then cut vertically to create movement. Remember this mannequin? This one was cut front to back. Now watch this. Take my brush. Brush her back. It stays back. Because we have all these little lines here creating that movement. But see how it comes down? Because it created the movement. And then we cut it horizontally on the side, so therefore it's very smooth, lays down. This bottom part here would not take much. We really didn't cut the bottom part because we didn't have any hair to cut once we drew it up. And you remember what I told you, if you don't have hair to cut, once you draw it up, don't cut it shorter. You're done. You're done with that part of it. But you can see that when we did it front to back, I can lean it forward and that stays back. So that is again those pillars that create that. I mean, this was cut side to side, I'm sorry. Now this one was cut side to side. And you'll see how it keeps coming back. All right, and that's because of the weight in that. I hope I got these right for you, but let me go over it again to be absolutely sure that I'm giving you the correct information. This one was cut front to back, so therefore the strength on top only, because remember we just did that one layer on top, we no longer did the bottom. So we just did the top, everything came to the center, and then we just built it up from there. This one was cut side to side, so it creates that hard line here. That hard line, I hope, holds it back. That's part of the geometry in it, because it was cut side to side. But you see the movement, you see more movement, more lift, more scattering. See how these little things stand up? I don't know if you can see them on the camera or not, but they stand up. You're going to get more movement when you're cutting vertical and side to side. But it's going to go back a little better for you when you're cutting side to side. When you're cutting front to back, you have horizontal here because we cut front to back, right? Horizontal, horizontal, all the way around, so it's going to lay down. However, tends to come down a little bit. So those are factors about the hair. Now, whether you choose to cut the top, front to back, or side to side, here is a trick of the trade. I'm gonna bring this down again because we are gonna be doing our haircut F. The haircut F is working on the crown. And that's basically, I'm gonna do it on one of the other mannequins. This one's a little bit too layered. This one has a lot more hair, so a lot thicker hair, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to see and what I need to do with it. But a trick of the trade, if you have problems with hair that doesn't stay back, what's your first thought? Oh my God, I'm gonna put hairspray on that hair to make it stay back. Okay, don't put it on the hair. Put hairspray on your brush. And then comb it back. It's just like a miracle, isn't it? Stays nice, it's not real heavy with spray. Stays nice with it, you're not tightening it up to where it's, you know, where sometimes some sprays feel a little stiff. It just softens it enough that it's gonna stay back for her. See what I mean? It's staying back, it stays pretty nice. All right, we got a few little scragglers here trying to come up, but a little bit more spray on your brush. Well, we're not perfect. If we were, my goodness, the world would need us. Okay, there you go. Back again. So a little bit of spray on your brush. Make sure and clean it off with good hot water because that spray does tend to stay on there. Just soapy water will get that gookiness off of it. Hairspray is sticky. So let's go into haircut F. And I'm going to use, this mannequin right here to do it. Let me diagram for you what our thought pattern is here. Haircut F is the crown. Remember the first cuts we did, everything was held down, close, no elevation, close to the face, everything was held down. Now we're holding everything up. First thing we did was side to side, but still everything straight up, and if you recall, when I put it upside down, it was flat. Same thing on the front to back, but the thing is we cut everything straight across, or everything straight across. So when you put it upside down, if this hair comes up, yes, it's going to be flat. It's supposed to be. That's what you created. So what we're going to do, and then our other cut was face framing. We brought it up at the frontal area. The other cut was taking it to the center, stationary guide, everything coming up to that. So see the variety of layers, the variety of ways to create a haircut, and one can blend with another. You don't have to say, well, that's the only cut you're getting. No, you can take, and this is where your creative juices come out. This is where your concept of understanding and knowing how to cut become extreme. You get used to it. You're not going to learn it on the first cut. This is why I do it on mannequins as well, and I encourage you, learn on a mannequin. Students don't learn on a person, they learn on mannequins. And then we try it on a person, normally family members or good friends. Let's hope they stay that way. And I always tell my students, don't worry about it. Your family's going to talk about you anyway, so let's just see what we can do. We might be able to impress them. So we're taking everything on top. This is pretty much, you're going to learn two cuts today. The cut F and I believe cut I. I'm going to check. It may be cut J. I've got them all separated in my diagram book. All right, so we're just going to separate the crown. Just exactly where the crown is at. That's it. I know where it's at. Do you know where the crown is at? See, right there. That's the apex, right? This is the crown. So here's a real quick layer cut you can do. Now, the variable here that you're going to see, let me get it nice and wet. Should always cut hair wet. It's best that it's wet unless it's curly hair. Curly hair, it's good to cut it dry without a lot of tension, or in other words, tension means pulling it out, without a lot of stress. It's just because those curls don't curl up uniformly. They all curl up just a little different. So remember the side to side. Okay, we're right here at the center crown, very center crown, right? Center apex, vertex, exactly where it's at. I'm going to bring everything to a point. I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to cut it as soon as I find my shears. Here they are. And then I'm going to cut it straight across. Do you see, can you see that wet area? How it almost created an A. Do you see where you can bring this up and create that same thing? Because we brought everything to a point. In other words, this hair traveled, this hair stayed up, this was your shortest point. That's one way to do it. One way to kind of clean that up, once you've done your A-line, and give it just a little bit more lift. If the client is saying, I want a little bit more volume, but I don't want layers, and just say, well, okay, do you mind if I do? In order to do that, I have to create just one layer. And, you know, as long as it's not all over, they're going to be happy about it. Okay, now here's the other way to do this. And you're going to find that it's not going to be as visible. I'm going to take, again, the crown. Let me make sure I'm even here. Uniform cut. And this is extremely simple. These are ways that you kind of finish a cut. And I'm going to bring the other mannequin up to do our next haircut, and I'll let you know what letter it is in just a minute. So you can keep your diagram, and I'll draw this out for you. I'll diagram it for you. Right now, I'm just doing it for you. Okay. So this time, exact same thing. But this time, instead of cutting it horizontally, now look at the angle. I'm not bringing it to a point this time. Just cutting it. I'm just going to give it a nice vertical cut, but a diagonal. Do you see that angle? I'm following the head form. I'm not holding it. My fingers are not straight up. That'd be a different cut if I did that. You see where that would be longer? This would be shorter. I don't want that. I want this all to be uniform and even right here. Yet this hair is traveling. So what's going to happen with this hair? Is it still going to be longer? Yes, it will be. So I'm going to take this. Take it straight up. And do you see now the scattered movement? Do you see what vertical cutting does? It pops it up a little bit more. So that's why if you're going to do this and they want, here's your whys. I'm telling you the whys as well when I teach you these cuts. You want to do it horizontally. People tend to pick it up and do this when it should be that. As long as you bring it to the center to do it. So do you see how that still pops out? You can see the line, but it's not an A anymore. Strangely enough, you can't hardly see the A line where the other way you could with it horizontally. So these are two factors in hair cutting. All right, let me look real quick on my book here. Like I said, I've got all my diagrams in here. You guys know that. I did them up for you. Okay, that was F. Right there, crown layered haircut, horizontal and vertical. That's what that says. And I'm going to diagram it for you in just a minute. We've done the stationary front. We've done the face framing right here. Okay. Crown layered. Okay, that's what we just did. Let me make sure that I'm correct here. Horizontal, vertical, yes. This is crown layered part section into a crown. And you'll see, I'm sorry, I didn't give you the number, did I? I think it's J. Haircut J. That's what I saw. All right, so let's talk about haircut F first. Sorry, that was my water bottle. Okay, so haircut. Can you see this? Do I need to get yes, I need to get another marker. I'm sorry. This is called real life. F. Crown layered. They're all called crown layered. And there's different methods to do them. This one was vertical, or it was horizontal and vertical. Horizontal and vertical. All right, so when we did it, remember, you know how to draw your head form. Right a line. There's your crown. The first one, we took all the hair to the center. Everything came to the center, and it was cut horizontally. Okay? So we did a horizontal line straight across, and I'm gonna try and move my stuff over just a bit here, so I can draw another mannequin for you here, the back of the head, and there's your nape, parietal line, crown. Everything was brought, all of this hair was brought only at the crown, not beyond the crown. And then it was cut, straight line. You could almost follow the vertex horizontally. Cut, horizontal. All right? So you saw how that created that slight A-line look. The next cut, J, and if it's incorrect, you know what, I'll look it up again. I don't want you guys to be confused. This is our J haircut, I believe. That was our F haircut. Horizontal, vertical, and you saw the difference. Oh, I haven't diagrammed the vertical for you yet. We're in Arizona, and I gotta tell you, it's 110 degrees today. So if I seem like I'm a little bit off, it's hot outside. So I apologize for that. So I don't mean to be a little bit off. Am I crazy? Yes, I'm crazy, but you know, that's called life. Okay, we did that one. J, crown layered. Okay, that's the one we're doing today, and it is J. Yes, it is J. And this will be our final one for the top, for everything that we do to the top and the Ys. Okay, so let's go back to the F haircut, the second one, the vertical one. So when we did it the second time, parietal line, crown, again, everything brought to the center, and this time cut vertically to the crown. Visually, 45-degree angle. Remember the protractor? 0, 45, 90, 135, 180. Point of origin. This is at a 45-degree angle. All right, so you can also call it diagonal. Do you have to be exact? No, but you want to be close. You want to be close, and you want to be consistent on how you do it. So the vertical one caused a lot more movement, and you can't see the line anymore. Does it tell you something when you want to get rid of a line as well? Let's say that you see a hard line. And again, I'm giving you clues. I'm giving you clues on how to do stuff. If you see a hard line, and you think, gosh, I don't want to take it any shorter, but I want to clean that up a little bit. So you're going to take, see, I can't see any hard lines here because I did it vertically. So I'm going to pick this up, and there's that slight corner there. Okay, what I would do, I would, again, hold it at an angle and only just snip at that corner, point cut into it. Is it going to be crazy? Yes, it is. Because you got to just kind of keep doing it till you get rid of the line. Another way you can do it is do it with your texture shear. And that is going to come up later because we're going to be doing a lot of texture shear work when we're working with the men's haircuts and some of the cuts that are starting to come up. So the cut today, we're going to do it on this other mannequin. The cut today is going to be a little bit different, and one that you definitely need to know where you're at and where you're going. The cut today is going to make a bowl. Same thing as it is here. Our H cut, what did I do? Here's my towel. Yeah, it's really warm in Arizona, 110 degrees, guys. You get out there and you just, I don't know how the construction guys do it. I don't know how the street guys do it, because I'll be honest with you, it eats your lunch. It just is way too warm. Okay, so haircut H, and you see these are just portion cuts. This isn't even a full cut. Can you take all of this hair up? Yes, you can. Can you take all of the hair up with the other ones if you want to? Yes, you can. All right? Practice it, do it. The biggest thing that I would ask, any cuts that you do them in 1 inch increments. Now, some of them we took a lot shorter. We took 4 or 5 inches off. Especially with the V, we had to take a little more off. But you want to get the concept. You want to get to know how to do it, and then you're going to practice. You're not going to get this overnight. You're going to get it over due time. Cameraman, how long have I been on? I didn't do my timer.
20.
Okay, so we've got plenty of time to do this. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to elevate this up. And do you see, let's pretend there's a center there. Let's pretend there's a center there. You're going to point your fingers down, and you're going to travel around it. You're going to see this, it'll make sense to you in a minute, but write it to the best that you know it. If you have to write down, hold it straight up. Straight up. Now that's how mine are. Mine, I've got to make sure that I tell you everything. Straight up. Create a bowl on center crown. Now, like I told you before, our videos aren't fancy. Our videos aren't like with all this music. Our videos are to teach you. Our videos are to try and get you somewhere that you know exactly what you're doing and how to do it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to part this into 4 quadrants. So, by the way, let's mark that you part it into 4 quadrants. So there you go, and there you go. 4 quads. All right, and these quadrants are what you're going to work on. The 4 quadrants, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to separate it so that you can see it. Because me just showing it to you would be like me showing it to someone that knows how to cut hair. You're learning, you're trying to get this, and I'm trying to help you get it. So you're going to see each section come into place, each section format into what I wanted to do, instead of just, now what I normally do when I do this cut, I just pick up the hair and do it. But how long have I been doing hair? I think I've said it once or twice. So, 52 years. Seems like a long time. I read a thing the other day. Who was it? I forget, oh goodness, the guy's a multi-billionaire. As a matter of fact, it was this morning with my husband. I forgot what his name was. He's valued at, I think it was over $80 billion, and he's going to give most of his money to charity. And I mean, still splitting $1 billion to a family is not a bad thing. But anyways, one thing he said was, you can only prove yourself to yourself. You can only gain knowledge for yourself. So pay attention. I don't care where you learn it from. It's amazing how some people are, if you want to be impressed, perfect. But I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to teach you. Take this information, watch other videos, and then diagram them as you see them. I was talking to my students yesterday. We're doing a conference call because we're on summer break right now. We're just kind of talking, and I'm asking them, I said, okay, name all the different parts of the head. And we got to laughing because they're like, and it's summer. They said, Ms. Boyd, we forgot. And I said, no, you didn't forget. Now, come on, think about it. And sure enough, one of them came up, started naming them. Then they all started naming them because it comes back if you use it. The thing about cutting hair is that the head is round, and there are different parts in the head form. There are different areas, and if I were to tell you, take it here and put it there, neither one of us would understand what we're saying. Do you see where I'm at right there? Do you see it? Okay, where I'm pointing my fingers on this side, I'm holding them straight up, Let me push this back for you to get a better view. Okay, now, what I'm doing is this is slightly pie-shaped. Picking it straight up, and this is going to the center crown. That's how I'm going to make my bowl. All right? So I'm going to hold it straight up again. You're going to see just a variety, a little bit of a different layering. It's vertical, but yet slightly diagonal. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to put my comb down because it tends to get in the way. I should palm my comb, but I am going to put it down. And what I'm doing is bringing it straight down. See that? So that comes down. You'll start seeing a few more layers. I'm going to take another little pie shaping. I'm only taking it to the area at the tip of the ear because the rest of it is not going to reach. If you have longer hair and you bring it straight up, you can do all of it. This creates a soft layering, surprisingly, but yet can be movable. Now you noticed that dropped, but I have my little guide right here to know exactly. Can you see that? See, there's that little bit of hair right there. I'm going to let it suck back in, and that tells me exactly how to diagonally cut the hair. I'm making a bowl around the head. All right, now I'm going to travel. I'm at the center, and do you see where I'm bringing it? Right to that center occipital. All right, now see there, you can almost see the guide right there. All right, bringing it to the center occipital. Comb that down and see how soft that is, but yet it creates movement. This is going to be for somebody that says, I want layers, but I don't want to lose any length. How short they want their layers, you determine that from the front of the face. All right, so now I'm at my next quadrant. So this haircut does not take long. We would have covered all of the top. After this cut, we're going to take off a corner, and again, I'm going to ask you a pertinent question. Where's the longest point on this cut? On this whole head, where is the longest point? Okay, I'm going to start at the center, and I'm going to come up. Again, my finger's pointing up. I've got a little bit of a guide right there again. And do you see where this is just not going to do anything? It's not long enough. I haven't cut it, but it's not long enough. So don't worry about that. You don't cut it shorter. Again, I'm coming at an angle, and it's all just kind of dancing around that center crown, very center. It's not going anywhere else. I'm going to bring this up. Very little to cut right there, and that's only because that hair is a little shorter there. And let me tighten this, sorry. Hope I'm turning it the right way. All right, and bring this up. Very little to cut. And what did I say? Okay, we traveled from one side to the other. Now we're going to travel from the back to the front, back to front. Again, side to center, side to center. All right, so I'm turning the mannequin in this form. I'm going to turn her around because I want you to see it. I want you to see this quadrant here. And I got to loosen this again. I'm just going to pick her up. Okay, this whole quadrant. The subsections are going to be pie-shaped this way. And they're going to be held straight up, cut in to that center crown. Every one of them. But you can see the movement there. It's a nice movement. Now we've got a different cut down here, the A-line, but that's a real nice movement that it gives. It fits into the hair, it's calming, and that's because of the variety of lengths. Now, let me ask you a question. What does shorter hair do? Can anybody answer that? Remember, shorter, which is here, moves longer. That's why you see a little more control. You're thinking, okay, she cut it vertical and it's not dancing all over the place. It's not going to when the very center point is short and coming down to control it. That's the geometry, that's the architecture in cutting hair. All right, I'm going to take the next quadrant, and you'll see me pie shape it. Wet it down really good. And And because this is longer here, I may need to go down a little further, may not, we don't know, we'll see. Otherwise, we're just gonna leave it alone. Just depends on the hair. Okay, so that center part, again, slightly pie shape, and you know that I have problems with this stand. There you go, again, I'm holding it to that center point. It's not leaving that center point. Turn it. Now do you see the pie shaping? And bringing it back over to that center point. Can you see that? Not with my arm, right? Okay, I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm gonna stand over here so you can see it. But I'm still going right to that center crown. Another one. And do you see where now we definitely have a pie shape right at the frontal area, because I'm taking triangular shapings as I come around to take it again to that center crown. Everything goes there. Take this last one, point it towards the center crown. And again, look at how it cups under nicely. There's not a lot of movement, it's still going good. And the best part about this, they're saying they don't really want short layers, but do you see short layers in there? You really don't see them. The hair just blends in really nice. And that's because the head is round and we're taking diagonal parts throughout and a diagonal cut. Diagonal on diagonal, that's all we're doing. So those things become important. Now remember, I've been cutting hair for many years. You're gonna have to think about this as you do it. Don't just do it. Again, I'm gonna start from the back and move to the front. And I'm just creating a small bowl back here. Again, there's that center crown. Bring it down. Carve it out. And you see that I don't need to cut that. Very, very little. Again, to the center crown. Part this in this direction, slight angle, because we're making a circle out of this. Stand behind it. Now you see where I'm traveling around it. I'm not holding them all like this, I'm traveling around. So that right here, and then you're going to see that again, triangle part at the frontal area. And this haircut, once you get used to doing it, again, center crown, and then you see the pie shaping again. We're gonna bring this up. And like I said, with longer hair, what's cool about it, everything goes to the center crown. We're traveling around it. What's really cool about longer hair, you can hide it. I mean, every once in a while, if you really, really look at hair, you can see room for error. But on this haircut, it's there. I mean, is that a perfect straight line? Who's gonna notice that when it comes back down? The head is straight. I mean, if it was like this huge thing, it'd be different, but everything is angled straight to the crown. You can pick this up here, pick it up, and you'll see, straight to the crown. So do you see what I'm saying? We're making a bowl at the crown. This is our focal point. Everything goes to this, and it goes at this angle. You pick it up, hold it straight up, cut into it, into the crown, making a bowl. So the hair around it then becomes longer, the hair in the crown is the shortest, and the hair outside is longer, as you can see that. We can measure it, and measure this. So again, where's the hair the longest? When hair travels, it does what? Becomes longer. This hair at the center occipital in most of the areas traveled up and it traveled down. What we're going to be doing after this cut is we're going to be getting rid of a corner that we have created here. Where this leads us to in understanding all the concepts on the hair cutting, it's going to lead us to a cut that's called a uniform layer. In other words, have you ever seen somebody that's been, a cartoon where somebody's electrocuted, all their hair comes up and it's all exactly the same length? That's called a uniform layer. It's uniformly layered to be the same length everywhere. I'm hearing you guys say you want me to turn this thing upside down. And we created a hole. I hope you can see it, but see, it is shorter in there. There it is. And these are longer. So you see the angle? It's kind of amazing, isn't it? You still get that diagonal look. So again, that's the geometry in it. That's about hair cutting. I hope that you're getting this. I hope you're understanding it and it doesn't become like I'm not sure what she's talking about. Please watch the videos. Let me give you another factor about this. You see the control. Boom, boom, boom. Created those little lines, stays back. Look at the volume we're getting on the sides now. That's what all of this does. So keep that in mind for it. I mean, this poor mannequin looks like she's been in trouble. But we've got other haircuts we're going to be doing, other haircuts we're going to be teaching. When we get ready to get into clipper cutting, before we start clipper cutting, I'm going to get one of the mannequins and show you how to angle the comb for the cut. To angle the comb for scissor over comb. So it's going to be really long at first, and then we're going to travel in to make it shorter. And I've got some male mannequins that we're going to be using. It'll help you a little bit more. We're going to be talking about it. Their hair is longer, so we're going to travel into it just a little bit. All right? So you guys have a great day. I hope that you've got some information out of this. I'm here to help you, not to hurt you. Did I write? Yes, I did. I wrote it down. This is our, what letter is it? The J. It's our J haircut. My cameraman helped me with that. So from A through Z, we're going to cover everything about hair cutting. If you view this, if you have a question, now we have a common language. So, I mean, if you ask me a question, I'm going to answer you with these terms. So you know where the parietal line is at. You know where the center crown is at. You know where the apex is at. You know where the frontal is at. Where's it flat? Right here. That's called temporal, but it's flat. So we call it flat. Where are you going to find cowlicks? Behind the ear and at the vertex, both places. As a matter of fact, I was talking to somebody today and they had a definite cowlick going over. And I couldn't help but keep looking at that cowlick that went over this way. And it was a female. So, cowlicks make a big difference in the frontal area. So all of those are factors in hair cutting. Again, I'm sorry I kept you a little bit longer. Good luck. Take care. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.